Live streamers have been rapidly taking over the world.
Burger, you piece of fucking shit! Get down from the chair, Burger!
And with viewership at an all-time high, it seems like people are willing to do anything to get views.
Put Max's PC down! Take on! You're burning $60 sneakers!
But one streamer stands out above the rest when it comes to pushing the envelope.
Yeah!
And with the pressure higher than ever to make fans love you, the lines between right and wrong tend to get blurred very quickly.
This is the streamer Ishowspeed, and he's about to accidentally expose the scam he's been paid to promote.
Today, I'm going to be telling the story of one of the most controversial rises to fame in all of content creation. This is the entire story of Speed. Darren Jason Watkins Jr., now better known as the one and only Ishowspeed, was born on January 21st, 2005 in Cincinnati, Ohio. His parents got divorced shortly after he was born, and this led to him having a pretty complicated family and home life. Speed mainly lived in his mother's house, but still kept a close relationship with his dad. And although things weren't always perfect at home, Speed had a pretty good childhood anyways. He was just like any other kid, enjoying sports and playing video games, specifically football, American football, not football for, my international fans.
My favorite sport is football. I'm a football player. Might don't seem like it, but I do have a lot of muscles.
And if he didn't become a streamer, he even thought that he could go pro.
Where do you think you would be without the fame?
I don't know. I'll probably still be playing football.
But with his professional athletic career on hold, Speed decided to create his own YouTube channel at just 11 years old on March 21st of 2016. Exactly 1 year later, on March 21st of 2017, Speed would make his first ever video. And as funny and outgoing as Speed is, that doesn't mean YouTube was going to be easy. In fact, he really didn't get any views on his first video, so he decided to start streaming a few months later on December 28th of 2018. Speed started off by playing Fortnite, which was the most popular game at the time, and he figured this would help him get more viewers. However, that wasn't exactly the case. Speed decided to give up on his channel and focus on his schooling and sports. Like most kids his age, eventually they grow out of a video game phase. But then in 2020, everything changed. The COVID-19 pandemic was worldwide and absolutely devastating. People were quarantined inside their houses and unable to go outside to do the many things they always do. So that left people like Speed and like me and like you guys with a lot more free time in our houses than we ever wanted. Oddly enough, one of Speed's IRL friends at the time had decided to start streaming during the pandemic, and he even convinced Speed to start streaming with him.
My friend, he said, yo, bro, you need to stream, bro. He was streaming, so I tried to do what he did.
Because Speed's friends saw a ton of potential in him, it made Speed want to get back into it, and he actually stopped streaming himself so that he could help Speed build up his own channel, essentially becoming Speed's first manager.
So your friend encouraged you to keep going. So does he have a channel?
Yes, he does, but he stopped streaming, and I kept going, you know what I'm saying? He stopped, I kept going, Big Speed. Right now, he is my manager right now. I'm trying to encourage him to get on, that's my boy, bro.
The two of them would work together, attempting to build a bigger brand. They built something that a lot of people now refer to today as clip farming. Essentially, rage baiting, being loud, obnoxious, or doing anything crazy for views, and they would then post those clips all over the internet. Speed would rage at the video games he was playing, have outbursts at his own chat, and even just yell and bark randomly entirely unprovoked. And because he was so entertaining, his viewers would clip the videos and post them on different platforms like Instagram Reels and TikTok. And unlike the first time that Speed started to stream a couple years ago, this time he was actually getting viewers. People started to see these funny clips of him on other social media platforms and decided to look up his live stream. By the end of that year, Speed had finally hit 10,000 subscribers on December 2nd of 2020, which was a huge milestone for him. In just a month, Speed went from 10,000 subscribers to 20,000 subscribers. And just a few months later, in April of 2021, Speed would hit 100,000 subscribers.
PLZZ. The Hokies
We did it, man.
$99.
We did it, dog.
Super chat.
And him hitting milestones like this even became a running joke on the channel. Every time he finally made it to the next 100,000, everyone would mass unsubscribe to him just to rage bait him for a reaction. And with every major milestone, more and more people would join in on this fun and making Speed rage.
11 mil. We did it. We did it. We did it. We did it, bro. We did it, man. We did it. We did it, man. Bro, I'm about to call the police on y'all, bro. Why I keep doing this? Why? 13 million, baby. We did it.
Are you serious right now, bro?
And much in part to that, on June 30th of 2021, Speed would finally do it. He hit 1 million subscribers.
I said we did it! I said we did it! We did it!
This was a huge milestone, and it was even more insane that Speed got so massive in just 6 months. But with a constantly growing audience, Speed had more eyes on his stream than ever, and unfortunately, not all of that attention would be positive. Speed fell into a ton of controversy for his questionable behavior. One of his biggest controversies early on actually happened on Aiden Ross's Twitch stream. He was hosting one of those live dating shows that were super popular for some reason back in 2021, and let's just say that Speed was a little bit chaotic when invited on the show.
We the last two people on earth. Who gonna stop me?
Yeah. Come on.
Picked a great main, but your voice doesn't quite match it?
We'd have a fix.
Sound off of the voice that matches your main.
Or assemble and deploy your best audio memes with the perfect timing.
Not going to get into exactly why this is bad, because obviously this was a weird thing to do or say to someone. Because of this rather distasteful rant, Speed would get perma-banned on Twitch, which obviously isn't great for someone trying to make a streaming career, but because his main streaming platform was YouTube and all of this controversy happened on Twitch, he was okay for now. And everybody thought that Speed had put this past him as he continued to grow on YouTube. However, in March of 2022, he went on another rather sexist rant towards a random girl in a Valorant game. This clip spread like wildfire, so much that it actually got the makers of Valorant's attention, and Riot Games decided to permanently ban Speed from their platform forever. There's a lot of debate going around whether this rant was warranted or not, or if it was just trash talk, and I'm not going to get back into that debate because honestly, I don't care. Just know that a lot of people started to see Speed differently after these controversies, and even though he did lose some fans from these outbursts, his audience literally didn't stop growing. On February 16th of 2022, he hit 5 million subscribers, which is obviously huge, but he wasn't the big international name that he is today yet. And something on his stream was about to happen that would go absolutely viral across the world. On March 3rd of 2022, Speed would make a joke on his stream that changed the course of the internet forever.
What soccer football team do you support?
Cristiano Ronaldo, Suey.
I don't know exactly why this video blew up, but it was absolutely everywhere. And this fan who donated just $1.79 would end up turning Speed into a multi-millionaire, if not a billionaire. Following this clip going viral, Speed's success reached international heights, and he took advantage of all this newfound attention, and as his streams got bigger and bigger, he took on new endeavors. He even started to make his own music, and also he sort of tried to set his own house on fire by accident or on purpose, who really knows. But this huge success came with, you guessed it, more controversy. On August 8th of 2022, Speed was arrested live on stream. Nobody knew why this actually happened, but a lot of people assumed that Speed was swatted, which unfortunately in today's day and age happens to a lot of streamers, and it would make sense considering how popular he had become. However, rumors started to spread that this was actually related to Speed prank calling the cops live on stream to clip farm. However, whatever the case case actually was, this situation was pretty crazy. Not as crazy, however, as the next controversy that Speed found himself in on November 16th of 2022 when he hosted a group of weird crypto scammers on his stream. Speed advertised the stream as a classic giveaway. He was not only going to give out PS5s, but also supposedly he was going to be meeting the one and only Cristiano Ronaldo. But instead, none of that happened. A strange Cristiano Ronaldo impersonator would appear on stream alongside a bunch of random dudes promoting the Paradox crypto coin. And yeah, things, as you can imagine, started to go downhill fast. As soon as these guys started to promote their scheme, Speed's viewers caught on to what was happening. They called him out for promoting a scam and being a sellout. And this wasn't just a few people in the chat, it was literally everyone. Speed, of course, reacted in the most Speed way possible, yelling at chat.
You sold out. They're using you, Speed. This is just sad.
That is crazy, bro. Like, them comments like that, bro, is making me like, that's crazy, bro.
But the chat was too loud to ignore, and Speed had to do something. So he muted the stream. Or at least he tried to mute the stream.
So what do I do now? Bro, they're spending hell stealing.
Since this whole incident, Speed has entirely removed the VOD of this from his channel, probably due to all the backlash. He attempted to apologize and admitted that he made a mistake.
Y'all don't know what I do for y'all, bro. I do so much stuff for y'all, bro. I made a mistake, you know, I'm not that smart, I'm gonna be honest, bro. But as I go, I get smarter and smarter, bro. I made a little mistake, you know, that I wish I never did, but I'm not a scammer, bro. A day of my life, I would never scam you guys. Just remember that, bro.
However, even after apologizing, these actions were met with pretty aggressive backlash. Unlike his previous controversies, these ones blew up. And partially this was because he was bigger than he had ever been before. And therefore, the biggest YouTube commentators decided to chime in. People like Moist Critical and CoffeeZilla made videos about the situation. And many fans and fellow content creators alike started to wonder if this is where Speed's career would start to go downhill. On top of this, many people were worried about Speed and his safety. At this point, he had made an entire career off pushing himself to the absolute limits. He was always trying to make a bigger and crazier stream and would basically do anything that the chat asked for views. And people were starting to wonder if Speed was letting himself get taken advantage of, not only by predatory sponsors like Paradox Crypto Coin, but also by his own fan base.
Get out the way! 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 Go, Slips, go! Get in, get in! Get out the way! Some more! Some more! Some more! Some more!
Luckily, fans quickly forgave Speed and everyone moved on from the discourse about this crypto coin. In fact, he was awarded Breakout Streamer of the Year just a month later in December of 2022, and later that month on New Year's Eve, he would hit 15 million subscribers. And if you thought 2022 was a crazy year for Speed, we are just getting started. Because in 2023, Speed would take his streams global. Back in 2022, if you guys are fans of Speed, you would remember that he started to dabble in IRL out in the world live streaming. But in 2023, he would take this above and beyond. He did an insane amount of traveling live on stream, visiting places all over the world.
We're tilting so hard right now, dude. Oh, you scoot over. I can't. Yo, no, it's tilting. Yeah, you're right. Yo, what if we fall? What the Naruto! I want to be Hokage one day. Hey, Luffy better, bro. Luffy better. You hear me?
And he also finally met Cristiano Ronaldo. All right, just play the clip.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! I'm sorry! Oh my god! We're down! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Take a picture! Hey, take a picture! Take a picture, please, please! Oh my god! I love you, bro! My son tells me that. Bro, yes, bro. Hey, I love you, bro. Ronaldo, I'm a big fan, bro. Ronaldo, look! I got you right here. Hey, wait, Suey! Ronaldo, Suey! Ronaldo, Suey! I love you, bro!
This was a truly full circle moment for Speed and his entire community of fans. But unfortunately, Speed wouldn't be able to go another full year without a controversy. And this time, he almost got banned from YouTube. During a Five Nights at Freddy's live stream, Speed had a very uncomfortable situation. He was so excited at a moment during the game that he jumped out of his seat. And with 25,000 people watching him on live, his you-know-what accidentally popped out of his shorts and a ton of people saw it. Luckily, Speed quickly realized what had happened and ended the stream immediately, quickly deleting the VOD. And this event infamously became known as Ishowspeed for obvious reasons. This was a huge deal. Of course, Speed has done a ton of controversial things in the past that affected how people saw him. However, this being an accident didn't change the fact that it was a direct violation of YouTube's rules and could get him banned from the streaming platform forever. And perhaps the worst part of this mistake was that it must have been hugely embarrassing for Speed. Regardless of how confident Speed portrays himself, this was probably a super vulnerable moment for him. Luckily, because Speed took direct action after the event and didn't try to clip farm it or anything, YouTube decided not to ban Speed or even give him a platform strike. It was clearly an accident and he seemed super sorry for it. And once again, Speed was able to not only recover from this event, but pretty much capitalize on it, as he blew up even quicker than before. 4 months later, we would see Speed hit 20 million subscribers. And he even participated in one of those YouTube boxing matches that were popular for some reason in 2023. And after blowing up massively in 2023, things would only level up the next year in 2024. At this point, Speed was more than just a streamer. He was basically a household name, so he was getting more opportunities than ever before. He was even invited to appear on WrestleMania with YouTuber turned pro wrestler Logan Paul. He also got to travel through Europe and chase after some cheese. He toured Southeast Asia.
Oh, they right there. Oh my God. Damn, it's actually monkeys here.
And just barely lost a race against the fastest man in the world, Noah Lyles. And just one of these events would be a lifetime highlight for anybody. But Speed was just knocking out these crazy side quests one by one. And you'd think that this guy would run out of content ideas or something, but nope, he just keeps going. In 2025, he appeared at a WWE event again, but this time as a competitor.
Speed, what? You're in the Rumble. Go.
What you mean?
Are you serious? Go. What
you mean?
Go. Throw people on the top rope.
What the hell?
Oh my God! Breaker just about broke Ishowspeed in half!
And yeah, he did not leave that event unscathed. Hey, who says wrestling isn't real? Anyways, following that harrowing experience on Royal Rumble, Speed decided to go on tour in China.
We are here in China! Come on, bro. It's about to be our first time experiencing China. Let's go see what China's about, man.
And while people were worried about this at first due to everything going on between China and the United States, it actually went really well. Speed was actually praised for how well he handled things in China and shed the country in a positive light. Despite the language barrier, Speed had a ton of fans, and many people showed up to try and find him live. Most recently, he went on a huge tour of America, and it was 35 days long, where he visited more than half of the United States. Speed would end his tour in Los Angeles, where he premiered his new YouTube series, Speed Goes Pro. This series completely changed the game when it came to online content. Just the premiere alone was crazy, with some major star power. Literally every big celebrity was there, like Justin Bieber, Kim Kardashian, and Randy Orton. And the show itself had some pretty big names too. He trains with some huge athletes like football's Tom Brady, one of the greatest gymnasts of all time, Suni Lee, and even professional hot dog eater Joey Chestnut. As of right now, Speed has a whopping 45 million subscribers on YouTube, which is absolutely insane. To put that in perspective, that is more people than live in the entire state of California. And this easily makes Speed one of the most famous streamers ever. And whatever Speed ends up doing next, he will always be one of the most influential creators in the history of the world. And considering all of the controversies and struggles that Speed went through to get here, I think he is an incredible role model for kids that anybody can change and grow. Nowadays, the internet is flooded with these Ishowspeed wholesome memes, and I couldn't be happier when I get one on my feed. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, please do hit the subscribe button, click here to watch another video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.